Steve Robbins here. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Kristen writes in, I'm moving into an apartment with a friend soon. We've never lived together before. What can I do to make sure our close proximity goes well? There's nothing like the intimacy, shared friendship, and joy that comes from living with a good friend. You can hang out, go on trips together, eat greasy Chinese food in Chinatown at midnight, watch the Oscars together, vote on Project Runway, and cheer at the Super Bowl. Then, one of you will leave a dirty teacup in the sink, and the other will brutally assault you with a potato peeler in one hand and earwax cleaning tool in the other. Clean vegetables, clean ears, clean dishes. That's what her mother used to say. And therein lies the rub. We're all different. We have different habits, preferences, and ways of living, despite the best efforts of our corporate overlords to turn us into identical featureless cogs. There's nothing like living together or sharing an office to prove how incompatible we are, even with our closest friends. And make no mistake, this isn't limited to apartments. Melvin and Bernice tried to share an office. You'd think, given how close they are, and we have no proof that they're anything more than friends, that they would get along. But Melvin kind of sways back and forth when he works and makes strange little grunting sounds. These interfered with Bernice's hourly goddess chants. Fortunately, Melvin had an excellent medical plan. Ground rules for roommates. If you're going to be sharing space with someone, friend or not, sit down beforehand and discuss the conditions. You may as well start with pet peeves. A pet peeve is something that drives you nuts for no good reason. They're irrational and you can't control them, so get them out on the table right away. My ex-roommate couldn't stand to hear someone clipping toenails, so I would clip mine on the roof deck. The unexpected bonus was tossing the clippings onto pedestrians below. I just loved their facial expressions. Make sure you're each willing to accommodate the other's pet peeves. Have monthly house meetings. Sometimes you discover you have other pet peeves that you didn't know about when you first became roommates. Living together has taught you, however. Plan a short talk every month or two just to check in on whether everything's working in the household. The meeting is not a blame meeting. Approach it with an attitude of tuning things up to keep a happy home. I discovered that I don't like having a roommate sleepwalk into my room, jump on my chair, tip it over backwards, and run back to his room going, whoop, 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 whoop. I hadn't thought to mention it when we decided to live together, and all it took was a brief how's it going discussion to find a solution. I installed a bedroom door lock, he fixed my broken chair, resumed his medication, and the rest of our time together was blissful. Some common areas of roommate conflict. With the help of my Facebook fans, I've created a list of possible areas of conflict. Sadly, all of these are based on real stories. Social lives. This is a euphemism. Make sure you and your roommate are in sync with your policy about quote-unquote friends, especially friends whose last names you don't know. If your roommate and his latest friend try to keep it quiet in the upper bunk while you're sleeping in the lower bunk, well, we're right back to the pet peeve problem. Sensitive topic though it may be, discussing romantic habits up front makes some sense. Same thing for party habits. If you plan 60-person parties every month, it's just good manners to make sure your roommate can deal. Hopefully, social lives only applies to your roommates and not to your office mates. The rest of the areas of conflict, however, apply whether you're sharing a home or you're sharing an office. Boundaries. Some people borrow your books and CDs, or they answer your phone, or they pick your guests up from the airport without telling you, or they wear your underwear. Ew. Get clear about which things are shared and which are private. Cleanliness. One person's leftover sandwich wrapper is another person's mixed media transient art project. And sinks. Sinks never need to be clean, right? If using a sink makes you clean, wouldn't the sink itself be the cleanest place ever? Some people keep the shower clean by not bathing. The less I bathe, the more I smell just like me. If someone's thinking that, you want to know before you arrange to share physical space for any length of time. Noise. You know you're under 30 when you still think you won't hate the next generation's music. Trust me, you will. They'll find a way. Your roommate will play awful music, too loud, and while you're trying to read, sleep, or concentrate. Make sure your noise and quiet needs are compatible with their noise and quiet needs, and agree when to turn down speakers and when to put on headphones. So here's the whole list of items to discuss with your potential roommates. Socializing, both the euphemistic and non-euphemistic kind. borrowing music, books, clothes, and friends, cleaning up garbage, the room itself, and your bodies, keeping it as quiet or as noisy as appropriate. And remember that how's it going conversations can save the day. Even if you've agreed on all these issues and you've discussed rules and habits with your cohabitant, he or she may still find ways to drive you nuts. Then it might be time for your own space. That means finding your own apartment or your own office. It's a lot easier than replacing your roommate with a look-alike robot from the Stepford Wives who does your bidding without question. And it's more legal. If you have no choice but to share space, however, bi-monthly how's it going conversations can be a real lifesaver. This is Steve Robbins. Work less, do more, and have a great life.